What's up, y'all? Alright, hope y'all are good. This one, I want to do this one for everybody who's organizing right now, all the essential workers who are organizing into unions and sticking up for themselves and each other in spite of all this. And this is for them and a call for all of us to stand behind them and doing the work that's keeping us all going and making sure that they get treated right and get their fair share. So in the interest that we all get our fair share. So here you go. Southtown kids waiting for the bus and blurs of white and navy blue. Out past City Wall, each little kingdom filled stucco citadel with tow-headed children. So we file quietly, hush now, and along door. Stolen girls and locked inside, they're sweating walls, some motels. Lighting the barricade, our father's name, First Avenue. Busted ship, strong young men, the prisons risen in the fields of old plantations, where our fathers have turned to prophets by our father's courts. Oh, children, can you shout it out? Sweet disorder, sweet disorder. Oh, sisters, can you turn involuntary servitude to true youth? Sweet disorder, sweet disorder, sweet disorder, sweet disorder. The hills rippling out from the interstate had overgrown mills and backfield holes, left in the wake of the company's long burning march south. The board still lays claim of cheaper, darker men. Once creek beds, now oceans away. Who outpaced the gun into the fiery furnace or the mine's black mouth, mouth, mouth. Oh, children, can you ride it out? Sweet disorder, sweet disorder. Oh, brothers, not to extract globalist American plutocracy and build us a magic city. Sweet disorder, sweet disorder, sweet disorder. Ooh, sweet disorder, sweet disorder. Oh, I'm shining with you. Sweet disorder, sweet disorder. Oh, spoken like a prayer in the evening shower. Sweet disorder, sweet disorder. Ooh, sweet disorder, sweet disorder, sweet disorder, sweet disorder, sweet disorder, sweet disorder. Woo! All right, man, feeling good. Thank y'all for tuning in. Speaking of tuning, I've been doing this gospel hour on Wednesdays, which has been really great for me. It's been cool to be kind of cyber with y'all anyway. I don't know, I really miss the community of being at shows. And like, you know, thing that's cool about independent music is you get to know I've gotten to know a lot of my favorite people and most important people in my life that way, including my wife Dawn, who's a camera operator today and every day. But
this song's just kind of about that, and about growing up on the south side of Birmingham, going to shows on the south side, and just like becoming part of a community that's bigger than a family or an ethnic group or a religious group or whatever, and learning how we can belong to a place together with people that we're told are, you know, like other than us, and learning through that how systems do treat us differently and how to stand up for our kinfolks who are mistreated by those systems. So anyway, that's what's about.
Drunk with the dew, done with the wait. We watch the towers fall through the film and dust. Stores sold out of flags, brave children pushing in line to prove the love of a father who would prove to give us up. Now we're down at the fountain and there's war in the skies, and we're calling down the peace of the Lord. I lean into the idling truck, it smells like burnt oil and cologne. He drones, I killed a bunch of last one, can't wait to kill more. Bathed in the sweetness of cut grass, speckled with red clay and defeat. We drank cans of purple nectar, cleats clicking on the sidewalk. We saw boys from leafy mountains shadow the cut-up sons of the concrete valley who spit and cuss and revelate like men as they talk. We'll cop calling, calling us here, ghost men talking about that all-star game. Sneers and slurs from visitors dug out of the raggedy shoes Darius had on. It boasts gentle air, it's Amir's daddy's accent, and the way Ricky tore off after him, that crossbine scarlet neck, boy, you got to show out for your own. Nail my feet down, down to the south side of town. Get my back into it, 24th Street vibes up. Watch my hair grow long and tangle up, and the smoke still rising from the stacks. In case it lights on this table, in case I ever dare to say I'm stuck.
Can't get right.
Shrouded in black, suckling on cigarettes, crammed into our girlfriend's hand-me-down jeans. Our arms are crossed, heads nodding to every song, like we already know or just don't care what it means. His post on the corner, John thick matted, beard and torn heavy coat, his face contorted by voices the wounded dudes are cracking up. I fall quiet, watch them silently read off the transmissions, like shouts of children falling through the fading southbound summer dust. Now my feet down, down to the south side of town. Then my back into it, 24th Street vibes up. Watch my hair grow long and tangle up, and the smoke still rising from
stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Yeah, I'm stuck. Second song. Do I?
Yeah.
I got a pen over here. Good looking out. Oh, well, that's why I have the electric guitar, I guess. I was planning on going to that anyway. Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. And I've been doing the Gospel Hour shows with love offerings for the food bank in Birmingham and Atlanta. And there have been a few people asking online if like I would give them the band Venmo address or whatever, and if y'all are so inclined, you know, we could like most people we could use some money, but we don't we certainly don't need it as much as some. But if y'all feel inclined, the my Venmo is just at Lee-Bains. I don't have any friends or pictures on there or anything, so you might be is that really him? But that is me. And then our PayPal is just, I don't even know like if there's a name on it, but it's probably attached to my email address, which is lee.bains.iii@gmail.com. So you can find it that way, I guess. I'm gonna do this one for Brett, North Carolina. He's our buddy, and he's a teacher and working right now. And this is again for all those union workers that are keeping trudging through this thing and showing up for each other. So thanks, Brett. Gotta serve either me or him. We just turned and walked away. this song. Did this one for my buddy David, who passed away almost 3 years ago now. And I was thinking about him a couple days ago because in North Alabama and around the Huntsville area, there were 2 different synagogues defaced this week with like Nazi anti-Semitic graffiti. And I was thinking about how, monstrous that is, and how much that flies in the face of like what, at least the way that I was raised to understand what it meant to be from where we're from and to believe what I was raised to believe in the church. And I think about David a lot and miss him at times like that, because David was he was a good old boy in the best sense of the word, and he did not abide any bullshit like that. He did not abide hatred. He couldn't stand Nazis and white supremacists, and he had such a sense of like clarity around that I think is so important, and it's like a lot of times our leaders, the stuff that, it's like, it's easy to object to Nazi symbolism, but it's we see constantly in our sort of public conversations and in the media the normalization of that same type of rhetoric, whether that's from Donald Trump or whether that's from a lot of like right-wing pastors. It's this idea that there are these people that are fundamentally different from us, that are worth less because of who they are or what they believe. And man, that is and whether that other are Jewish people or whether they're Muslim people or whether they're Chinese people or whatever that is, that's a deeply, it's a deeply fucked up way of looking at the world, and it not only endangers people who fall into those categories of the other, but it puts all of us in this position of rewarding, of where our society rewards violence and rewards hatred and rewards exploitation. So anyway, I just miss David these days, and I wish he were here so I could have him do a little soliloquy on that. But anyway, this is kind of about David and just about playing in a band and stuff like that.
Say at least I played
songs for David. I made a little list here. I had people ask for a couple different songs, so I'm gonna try to do them. Let me see where I put that. What do I want to do? I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one. This is a song that it's pretty important to me, and it was honestly like kind of a hard one to write. But I don't play it a whole lot. And it's about, I guess it's about like, on our last record, Youth Detention, I was thinking a lot about the ideas of gender and masculinity and the way that we're sort of, because again, it's one of those things where I think growing up, I learned that feminism was for women, basically, you know, that, and that, you know, criticisms of, you know, heteronormativity were for LGBTQ folks. And what I've kind of come to see the older I get is that, like, man, that stuff is for everybody. And that stuff is for me, too. And I really need that because I grew up with a lot of kind of messed up ideas of what it meant to be a boy or what it meant to be a man. And those things not only, like, led me to treat people like garbage, you know, because they didn't fit into what I was, what I thought that we were all supposed to fit into, but also the older I got, I realized I was treating myself like garbage too through that. So this song is about the way that masculinity and patriarchy and an uncritical perspective on those things damages all of us, and myself very much included in that. So anyway, that's what it's about. It's called Picture of the Man.
Scratches a faint beard, sinew and smoke against a wall of cinder block, casting her nets for ride to work in the dust of a gravel lot, calling on the picture of a man. The grizzled gentleman and loafer princess, who she will tell me light up her phone late at night, hustle past without spilling a word in the dying purple light, just like the picture of a man. On a sun-bleached couch in a dusty, cramped apartment, you stroke my straining neck, your eyes flashing blue. And the things he did I've hardly told myself I will sit and tell to you. And what is the picture of a man? Draw out the barbed ears working open my clenched bony throat till his fists start to lose their hold. And maybe some shiny morning I'll pray for peace on his soul. But what is the picture of a man? Tell me, what is the picture of a man? I still believe children are some kind of warm, forgiving light that bears us away from our worn out bodies and this war-torn life. And I don't know, but if anybody in this world just fades to black, I think it's the man that lives off picking on them that are being held back.
school paper, which we seldom read. His proclamation blooms through the black and white photocopied sheet like burning petals on the picture of a man. Blood rushes into my cheeks. I quake before him, bare, bold, reconciled. My ugly words rush back, taking shape as the work of a child desperate to hide in the picture of a man. I thud with the shame of a hateful child, so bound by the picture of a man. I plead guilty as that brutal child beaten down by the picture of a man. How do I do right by that terrified child, so lost in the picture of a man, so lost in the picture of a man, so lost in the picture of a man. All right. Man, yeah, that, I think it's like talking about that stuff and about sort of deconstructing what it means to be a man and looking at the, kind of taking stock of what hurtful and harmful things we associate that and behaviors and attitudes. I think it's also important for me to like look at folks who embody that in a really positive way, and I'm fortunate that I had that in my granddaddy growing up. It was just a really great guy, and he had his faults for sure. But when I look back and look at him and consider the time that he was born, and saw the way that he treated people, no matter who they were, or, what color their skin was or whatever, I was really drawn to the sort of kindness and respect that he showed everybody in his life. And he carried the mail for 40-something years, and he never met a stranger. And I don't know, this is about him and my grandmama, and learning from them, living on the east side of Birmingham, how to live in a city and a neighborhood and with a community of people, which I miss right now, not being with y'all, but we can still sit on our front porch and see our neighborhood folks, and I love that. So do this for them.
repentance and forgiveness and loving your neighbor as yourself. But what the hell does it mean when all your neighbors look the same, think the same, else live a couple miles down the road? In the puzzle and the concrete, in the puzzle and the concrete, in the puzzle and the concrete, we learn to love at the beat of the city, city, city. In the puzzle and the concrete, in the puzzle and the concrete, oh. In the puzzle and the concrete, we learn to run at the beat of the city, city, city. Oh, in the kazoo, yeah, in the concrete. Oh, don't call us country. We were born at the beat of the city, 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 city. Woo! Woo! Hell yeah! Awesome. That feels good. That feels good. Shoot, what do I do now? Oh, somebody asked for this one. This is an old number. I don't hardly ever play this. So this is for Charlie. It's been a long time coming. And I ain't say that it's yet come to pass. We've been keeping these little fires so long burning. I don't think I'd be a fool to think that way. Let's go on and keep my t-shirt. Well, you can go on and keep my books. 'Cause each small hope that you give me makes up for everything you took. Everything you took. You can keep my Walker Percy. You can keep that t-shirt my brother got the time he went and saw the Ramones. Oh, 'cause just a little bitty small piece of your sweet mercy, babe. Oh, that's the dearest thing out there. Oh, and keep my t-shirt. Well, you can go on and keep my books. 'Cause each small hope that you give me makes up for everything you took. Oh, go on and keep my t-shirts. Well, you can go on and keep my books. 'Cause each small hope that you give me makes up for everything you took. Everything that you I wrote that one when me and Dawn were just dating, and then that's the secret to that song. You want your shit back, you just marry the person you want it back from. Easy. Oh damn! What I saw the Q say he wanted. Yeah, I don't know that one. Is it today?
something tomorrow.
Yeah. That's I'll figure out another one for him. Are there any other requests coming in on there? Not really. Let's see. What do I feel like doing?
What about River Rat, Roebuck Parkway?
Roebuck Parkway, I can do that one.
Okay.
If you're okay with it. We're just gonna have the embarrassed doll now we're here. Might as well. Actually, like me, if I'm gonna play this one, and since I just played that one, I feel okay about it. But I don't know. Me and Dawn talk about this sometimes. I feel like a lot of times there's this whole like genre of song that I myself was very into at one time, and where it's sort of like dude songwriter as victim, and that's like something that when I think about this song, that's a lot of what I hear in it is me sort of, and that's just the place I was in. I was just kind of feeling sorry for myself, and what's largely absent in that song is a good look at like myself and like what I was doing or not doing to make a relationship difficult. But I guess that's part of the process too. But as long as it's just a stage in the process instead of the whole thing. But so I'll play this one and then I'll play yet another one to make you feel even more uncomfortable here. Ashes scattered across the parkway, ozone burning up in the west, and I passed her mama's house where the years were laid out, long lines before me, where they're now laid to rest. Carry me back, Roebuck Parkway. Where we were squirming in the backseat and everything made sense. Ain't been that way since. Carry me back. Carry me back. She traded living for survival, traded cough syrup for champagne, and she said her pretty feet down on 20 East, calling a trade up. I just felt betrayed. Carry me back, Roebuck Parkway. Carry me back to where you've been. Carry me back to Mom's driveway, where we were squirming in the backseat and everything made sense. Ain't been that way since. Carry me back. Carry me back. Carry me back. Carry me back. All right, so now I gotta do the other one. This sort of more, it's more like, you know what? On second thought, I probably did screw some of this up. You know what? This is probably, I probably had a part to play in all this. So, That's I have to do that song now. So Reba, you know that I won't. If I go and pick up the phone and ask you to scare me off to sleep. Promises are milky white. I'll leave a mouse some night. They won't keep. Reba, you know I'm gonna worry. I live on the line between the false and the true. Reba, you know I'm gonna worry. It's all I can do. It's all I can do. Reba, please don't tell him I called. I ain't trying to mess with y'all. I guess at best I'm a liar. At worst I'm dumb. Reba, don't think your boy done changed. I've been accused of a lot of things, but haven't any sense. Never has been one. Reba, you know I'm gonna worry. I live on the line between the false and true. Reba, you know I'm gonna worry. It's all I can do. It's all I can do. And it ain't that I'm trying to light an old flame in you. It's that I'm afraid all my tender is rotted through. Hey. Reba, you know I'm gonna worry. I live on the line between the false and true. Reba, you know I'm gonna worry. It's all I can do. It's all I can do. It's all I can do. All right. Cool. Good. All right. So I guess I'll just do a couple, three more. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is I don't know if y'all been paying attention to this, but because there's so much going on. But one thing that's going on right now is that the state of Alabama and a lot of states around the U.S. And our federal government are doing a piss poor job of protecting folks who are incarcerated right now in light of this crisis. They're, incarcerated people are trying to rise up and protect themselves. And the state of Alabama, like I said, is not defending those folks' rights. We still have detentions happening. We still have arrests and imprisonment happening in spite of this global health crisis. And so I want to do this song for the Free Alabama movement, who's a group of incarcerated people in the state of Alabama, many of whom from our state, who say that our prison system is in violation of our state motto, which is that we dare defend our rights. We dare defend the rights of our people. And so I want to do that for them, and also for the folks working to shut down the Etowah Detention Center in Gadsden. Anyway, that's what this is about.
Was like girls and girls like boys. Oh, the e-hoes watch a papa patting down in the blue lights and the sirens noise. Oh, baby, can you hear it? On the soft southern breeze that's howling in the street. Come on and holler it. Oh, baby, can you hear it? On the soft southern breeze that's howling in the street. Come on and holler it. And you won't even cut the front porch light on. Got everyone aborted. You got every last door barred. If you won't let us lay the plans on the supper table, we'll the bang in the front damn yard. Oh, baby, can you hear it? On the soft southern breeze that's howling in the street. Come on and holler it. Oh, baby, can you hear it? On the soft southern breeze that's howling in the street. Come on and holler it. Come on and holler it. Come on and holler it. We take up in our rights. Let's show 'em what we can build up. Let's show 'em what we can tear down. Let's show 'em what we can build up. Let's show 'em what we can tear down. Let's show 'em what we can build up. Let's show 'em what we can tear down. Let's show 'em what we can build up. Woo! Show 'em what we can tear down. We tear up in our rights.
Woo! All right. Cool. All right. I'm gonna do. I guess I'll do a few more here. I want to do this one for my nephew Quentin. It's his birthday tomorrow, and he's my favorite. I love him to death. Happy birthday, Q. He just learned how to play Back in Black this last couple weeks, which is pretty awesome to me. He's always been very musical, and he one of his God, what did he used to call AC/DC? I forgot. But I remember him singing AC/DC songs when he could barely talk. And so we're gonna do this for him. This is about me doing the same thing, just being drawn to rock and roll as a kid, riding around with my dad, just like Quentin's drawn to rock and roll, riding around with his dad, my brother Warren. So, anyway.
Songs to the pines lining that blacktop road.
tell you. Everything's breaking today. Happy early birthday, Q. Let's see. Alright. I got so nice that whitewash. Cool. I'm just gonna do a couple more here. This one I wrote after reading the book Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and if you hadn't read it and you have time during the quarantine, this is a pretty excellent time to read it. It's about really heavy and sometimes heady stuff, but it's written so lyrically and accessibly and like personally that it's kind of a quick, it's like a book that you can read quickly, but it'll sit with you a long time after you put it down, which are that's kind of how my favorite ones go. But anyway, in the book he's talking about the idea of whiteness, and he keeps using this term, people who believe that they are white. And he talks about how the idea of whiteness and how people who believe that they are white have affected his life and the lives of his friends and family. He grown up as a black kid in a pretty much all black community in Baltimore, I think. And at the end of the book, and it's, like I said, it's really powerful. And at the end of the book, he says, if you're reading this and you believe that you are white, I ask you, what has whiteness done to you? What has it done to your family? What has it done to your life? And that's something that nobody had ever asked me before, you know? Because again, like I was saying earlier with feminism, I always thought that feminism was for women, you know? I thought that, being an ally of LGBTQ people was for their benefit, and that being an anti-racist was for people who are the objects of racism. And he makes the point that at one time in this country, people thought of themselves as belonging to a place or a tradition or an ethnic identity or religious identities or some combination of those things. He says, you know, people at one time thought of themselves as Boston Irish or Chicago Polish or Southern Crackers or whatever it was. And I got thinking about that and how that's a side of whiteness that I hadn't really had painted for me so clearly. But I think that's what whiteness offers us. That as it offers us who are able to take it power, it demands that we erase a lot of things. It demands that we erase a lot of our own memory, a lot of our familial memory. Sometimes erase people from our families themselves, from our communities. It means that we erase bonds of common struggle. It means that we erase histories of our participation in oppression. So this is about that, and about thinking about that, and about feeling the need to subvert and undermine and destroy white supremacy, not just for the sake of the people who are denied whiteness, but also for those of us who are eat up with it. So anyway, that's what it's about.
Sad, the fluorescent halos, the tiny flowering redemption of sharecroppers and miners and slaves, offering upstart class beneath the TV, the flag and the cross. Originally twangs and draws, birthmarks to be scrubbed away. I don't wanna be a whitewash. I don't wanna be an absence. Don't wanna be the great silence. I don't wanna be. I don't wanna be a whitewash. I don't wanna be nobody. I don't wanna be from no place. I wanna be scrapyard, curling bliss from cornbread and collars soul of home, of Soul's Forest West. Landlord would sell his Glenn's lease to continental cafes and unblinking empire, pulling the scrap of red clay from those who loved her through the worst, who loved her best. I don't wanna be a pine marsh, don't wanna wipe out memory, don't wanna fortify a colony. I wanna be, yeah, I wanna be a pine marsh. I don't want power over anybody, don't want dominion over any place. I wanna be floating above your scrap together smoker, hazy little yard on the sleepy east side, smiling through blue strands of smoke at everybody passing. You're singing as if heaven is other folks. You might sing a book set in the boutiques of some blanched borough, in the sterile phantom cold of the mobile modern skinny shiny guilt-free. She belonged to the free state of Winston, her pines creaking, your words high and lonesome. They say, I got a people and a history and a place bearing down on me, and I don't wanna be a blind boss, turning places into sets, turning people into objects. I don't wanna be, yeah, I don't wanna be a blind boss. I don't want power over anybody, don't want dominion over any place. I don't wanna be, yeah, I don't wanna be a blind boss. I don't wanna be a blind boss. I don't wanna be a blind boss. Yeah, I don't wanna be a blind boss.
All right, cool. Well, I reckon I will do one more here and take it out. Thank y'all again for tuning in. Hope everybody's doing okay and safe and sound. If y'all feel like it, I'm doing another gospel hour on a Wednesday, which has been pretty cool. I've gotten a lot out of it. I gotta say, I was kind of, I think like a lot of folks, bummed here in the last couple weeks to see the way that the Democratic primary has gone, particularly in light of the public health crisis and the fact that there were folks expected to go outside and stand around a bunch of people and wait in line and do all that. And tied up in my frustration with that, a lot of people's frustration with that is the fact that Bernie Sanders dropped out of the race, which that's how that goes. But not long after I was bummed out about it, I was thinking about a line of Angela Davis's that I think about all the time. Because I remember in 2004, I was at the Republican convention protests in New York, and I felt absolutely 100% positive that we were going to get George Bush out of the White House. And man, when he won in 2004, I felt like there's no point to this. It's over. Everything's fucked. We're all fucked. Everything, And in those intervening years, I started, talking to people with experience of like fighting through these movements for decades of their lives, and one line of Angela Davis's, she's got a couple lines that I've really been thinking about this week. One, she says that freedom is a constant struggle, that freedom isn't, there's no finish line to it. You know, God willing, it's something that we're going to have to keep pushing for on and on and on, because we can always get more free. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I've gotten a lot of peace from and power from this week. And the other thing she says is that whenever she starts feeling disillusioned, she needs to grab hold of a vision of a future where we are all free. She has a vision of a future where we're all free. And, you know, the thing that to me about the community around, you know, independent music is that I've been fortunate that since I was a teenager and I stumbled into these like weird all ages spaces, I felt like I'm in a room full of people just being who they are, who they really are, and supporting each other in that. You know what I mean? Nobody's, bullying each other. Nobody's shaming each other. We're all just here being ourselves and celebrating that, you know. And so that's something that I'm really missing the quarantine, is being in those kind of spaces. But I'm still getting a sense of that from just, and you know, calling friends and doing these kinds of things and stuff. But I know we're all anxious to get back to it. But again, like, that's in the future. Like I have that vision. I have that vision of a future where we're all free. But thanks, y'all. Love y'all. And yeah, this one will take us out till next time. Forget that. The way you start ain't where you wind up at. But while the cameras were all lit and the crowds were grown with, they went toward the old dirt track. Down, 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 down. Hell yeah. Love y'all. Take care. We'll see you soon.